Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the DC Direct. It's really a McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. I don't understand what's going on with Todd and the way they're doing these Batman, or these DC figures. Like, it's definitely a McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse figure, but this one says it's DC Direct, and I don't know why they do that. Does anybody know why they do that? I mean, I know he makes, like, I guess technically the DC Direct figures are made by their company now, even though they're still the same figures as before, but this is not one of their DC Direct, I don't get it, whatever. It's a multiverse figure. It's Damian Wayne, it's the new Robin, it's the only Robin that actually looks like a decent figure so far, of the smaller Robins. Like, actually, have there even been good Nightwings? I don't know. Anyway, it's the new Robin. We're going to review it. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, I do want to show you my package. It's a very large package for most of these figures. They don't normally come in this old school style clamshell. This one does. It's completely clear plastic though, other than the insert here and this here, because it comes with a comic, and that makes up the back card. So there's not much to look at. It's a nice looking thing, though. If you leave it all together, it's good. Once you take stuff out, it's really just a recycling bin thing. So we're going to set that aside, and we're going to look at... I guess I'll show you this real quick. For those of you package people who tune out right away, which I doubt you exist, this is what it looks like behind the figure. This is what it looks like on the back. Okay. Alright, let's get into the figure. This guy stands just about 15.5 centimeters to where the top of his actual noggin would be, not his hair. We'll call it 6 inches. Here he is up against Darwin, and then here he is up against this Batman, because I'm just pulling your leg. Here he is up against this Batman, which is the one that people would care about. I think scaling's okay. He's probably a little bit big, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It will definitely be good enough if you're interested in this sort of thing. Now do remember this Batman. Take a quick look if you haven't seen his review. Otherwise, look up there for his review, or in the comment section, in the description box. Okay? Alright, question of the day. Which Robin is your favorite? For me, it's got to be Dick. Always. Always, always. I don't care about Damien at all. And then the next thing is, this guy's available at Big Bad Toy Store. I'll put a link in the description below. Okay, so, aesthetically speaking, looks really good matte finish for all the black parts. Maybe they should be gray. Hard to say. I'm thinking his pants should be gray. Maybe the sleeves too, but I don't know. You can debate whether it should be gray or black, but I don't really care about that because it looks decent. The sculpt is nice. We have some texturing going on. I'll brighten it up so you can see a little bit of texturing going on. The sculpt is nice for the torso, though it's all one piece. That looks good. That'll probably get in the way for posability. Now, the thing that bugs me the most, this Batman, no shading. This Robin, cartoon style shading. I don't get it. Todd? Freaking Todd. Why Todd? I don't get it. Alright, his face is actually like the best Robin face they've done. It's really nicely done. There's a little bit of cartoon style shading on his domino mask, which isn't super obvious, so I don't mind it as much, but the mask looks really good. The face is solid. And then the hair has a little bit of paintwork on there. That's solid too. So I like that. Easily the best Robin head that they have done. Very, very nicely done. And then we do have the cape, which I don't think looks great. It's okay, so if you're into that sort of thing, you probably won't care. But it's that stiffer material that doesn't drape at all. But it's metallic on one side, not on the other. You can see the seam there. It's just, I don't love it. It's okay. You do get the hood though, and they're all wired, so we'll look at that later. But yeah, it looks good. It looks really good overall. It doesn't quite match stylistically, but definitely a good enough take on this Robin aesthetically that I'm happy. I will go for a McFarlane figure, 9 out of 10. A very solid looking figure for a Robin. And that's only because in comparison to the other Robins, this is really good. It's probably more realistically an 8. I'm being probably a little bit too generous because it's a good Robin. So we'll say 8. We'll say 8. Okay, still for a McFarlane figure. Every line I review, I'm giving a rating compared to the other figures in the line, mostly. There's some outside context, but it's primarily for that line. Otherwise, I would need a scale of 100 and it would be kind of useless. You wouldn't be able to really judge things properly. Every Marvel Legends would get a 1 or a 2. These would get like a 2 or a 3, or a 0. Like, I need to rate them within their own line. Okay, anyway, as far as accessories go, he gets the sword, which is oversized, but it's okay. He gets the broken pig mask, which is fine. Like, it's a cool enough accessory, except I don't know if anybody's actually going to bother with that for anything, so I don't know. So alternate hands would have been much better, because he can't even do the pose on the card, which is included. Typical card, DC display stand, and then you already saw the comic. He can't do the pose on the cover. But he has a trigger finger hand to hold his sword. No two-fist hands, no alternate hands. That's starting to irritate me, Todd. Stop including stuff nobody cares about, like these stupid stands, and include more accessories. How about we don't do a big, crazy package and give him the proper hands that he needs? Accessory-wise, 5 out of 10. Alright, let's see about articulation. The head on a double ball peg moves around wonderfully. Very nicely done. Double ball pegs are certainly the way to go. The hood is wired, and it does move around here, so you can swing these parts back a little bit underneath the plastic if you want to hang them back, or you can bring them forward. Now, the hood, I don't know about the hood being up. It can go up, but there's a seam on it in a really unsightly spot. You see this whole line right here? That's a seam. Don't like that. And it doesn't quite fit his head the way I would want it to. Like, it's not terrible, but it's gonna be... You're gonna have to really spend some time with it to make it look good, but that seam sucks. This one's nowhere near as bad on this side. This side is really bad. So maybe that's just mine, but I would leave it down anyway, because I don't like that. And then the cape is also wired, and it can slide forward and back underneath the plastic. I don't know if it's intended to, but it does. Or at least on the one side it does. I don't know, you can see the copper in there too. Either way, it's a wired cape and it works well enough, so that's fine. Everybody's gonna see different level of execution. You can see a little hole on mine right there. So yeah, maybe yours is really good, maybe yours is bad, I can't say. Shoulders do have nice movement inside on that inner ball peg. Shoulders go up better than horizontal, full rotation, of course, that's all fine. Bicep swivel is okay, though disconnected. And really, I think you could pull his arm off without trying very hard, which just don't do that. But it seems loose and doesn't fit super tight, so just be aware of it. Double jointed elbow works nicely. Not the ugliest elbow we've seen from Todd, so that's pretty good. And then we have ball hinge wrists, which are going to be pretty limited due to the cuffs, but I think they're floating. Yeah, they are. So you can pull them back if you need to pose the hand a little bit better. That's good. The torso, I do believe there's articulation in there, but because this is fairly stiff plastic with no cuts or anything, you're not really going to get anything out of it. Like, it moves around on the waist for sure, but the torso, not much doing. For the hips, we have ball pegs for the hips, which is a little bit interesting. They do go out pretty far, so that's alright. Going forward, yeah, you really have to force them and they start to kick out to the side. It's pretty limited due to the crotch and the shirt. I feel like that's going to tear right there, so be careful with that. Going back, it's alright, not too bad. Thigh swivel, basically non-existent. It's like they are trying to purposely make not as good action figures as they could. The knee joint is functional, the leg's a little bit disproportionate, but not too bad. I think if his lower legs were a little bit shorter, we'd have better proportions, and it would actually be in better scale. For the ankles, you have your ball hinge. It's functional, still overly ratcheted, but it is functional, so that's good. And then the toe hinge is actually one of the better toe hinges. It's well placed, and it's well designed, and it's not super loose, so that's okay by me. Alright, so articulation, I'm going to give it a 7, despite the torso being limited, because the rest of it works pretty well. The hips are kind of limited, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to say 7. Some of the stuff's good, but some of it's bad. Okay, time for a cake rating. I have been forgetting to do this, guys. I apologize, but I am back to it now, and he has no cake. 0 cake. Well, maybe like a 1 cake. He's got 1 cake's worth of cake. So he gets a 1 on the cake rating scale. For those of you new to the channel, we review the cake on McFarlane figures because for a while there, they were making crazy amounts of butt cheeks on the figures. So it's just a funny thing we do. Alright, time for the final verdict. Is this the best Robin? I don't know, I can't remember all of them. Is it the best Damien? Definitely, and probably is the best Robin that they have released. It's a solid release with a handful of flaws, but some nice stuff too. I think for the price point, it's good enough, but it's nothing crazy. Like, if it wasn't the best Robin they've released after a whole bunch of bad ones, I don't think people would care as much. Because that's a good way to make people happy when you make a mediocre product. Make a whole bunch of bad ones first. This is better than mediocre, though. I'm going to give it, for McFarlane Toys, an 8 out of 10. It definitely needs more accessories, more hands. But otherwise, it's pretty decent. I think you'll like it if you're in the market for this sort of thing. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But that's it for me. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.